Well, y'all, as you can see, this is basically the ultimate summertime board. Now, this is the What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode. It is finally sunny here after 2 weeks of rain and wind and just really not any waves and bad weather. It's beautiful. We got some fun surf and we got a new shred sled to talk about. This is the SUPERbrand FLING with the Hippy Squash. This is a new summer board that I haven't ridden yet, but I'm really excited. The FLING has always been one of my favorite boards for the summer, and now with a little more pulled in tail, gonna offer up a little more performance. So I mean, really, we'll break this down after I go surf, but we got some like waist to stomach high pretty waves. So let's go test this thing out and see how she rides as we prepare for like the doldrums of the East Coast. For the next couple months, the waves are gonna be like this at best, so you need a board like this. No matter where you live, you're gonna run into periods of time where the waves are bad. It's good to have a fun board that makes those bad days great. So let's get going. I'll wrap you guys up after the session. What the? Remember, I told y'all it was finally sunny? Well, that didn't last long. It's back to raining. Anyway, let's break down this board here. Well, y'all, as you can see, this is basically the ultimate summertime board, or at least just small wave board. Now, this is the FLING with the hippie tail. And The reason that it has that name is because the tail's much more pulled in compared to the Fling OG, which you did see me ride in the video as well. Now, I've been a fan of the Fling OG since, well, the original OG that came out like 7 years ago. I got a demo and it turned all these summer days that I would have normally not had fun surfing into like absolute blast of a time. And that was because it was short, wide, with a huge tail that allows you to just keep your speed through flat sections in super gutless waves. Now, the one thing that you probably saw in the video a little bit, the difference between the OG and the Hippy tail, this Hippy tail, this pulled in tail right here, allows for so much more control and more maneuverability. The one thing about the Fling OG that I always had a hard time with, although it did help me learn how to properly do rail turns, was that you had to draw your turns out more. And on a really small, tight, compact, like kind of steep wave, even if it's only knee to thigh high, if it's steep, it was really hard to do that. And now with the Fling Hippy tail, this thing, it like rode like a shortboard once I would go to wrap, but it had the volume and surface area up front to like glide through sections. I will say I needed a little bit more of a wave for the Fling Hippy tail board, whereas with the Fling OG, you can literally just ride whatever, it just goes. And as you can see in some of the clips, like the OG was just going so well through flat sections, and then the really flat sections, the Hippy tail struggled a little more. So really, they're both the same model, they just have different tails and a slightly different design. So it's gonna depend on what the waves are like where you live. Now, if you live somewhere that's really mushy and always gutless when it's small, then I would recommend the Fling OG 100% of the time. If you're on the East Coast and, you know, or anywhere really that has like punchy beach breaks, even when it's in the knee to thigh high to waist high range, or stomach high, whatever, I would recommend the Hippy tail. Being able to have that maneuverability and like quick response and short, fast wraps made that day that was like waist high so much fun. And so because I live somewhere where the waves are generally steeper even for their small size, this thing is a game changer. Now, as you saw, I had it decked out with a front pad from OAM and my signature pad from OAM as well. You can check those out in the description below. But I would recommend anyone who has summertime boards, get a front pad, because this board's, I'm pretty much only gonna ride it when it's hot out. Like, you know, May through September or May through August when the waves are small and it's hot. And this allows me to not worry about wax melting off my board and not being able to go back on. The other thing too, I struggled with this board because the tail is so much more narrow, it's really loose. And I had medium-sized John fins in, and I ride those in all my short boards, and sometimes I'll ride larges, but I would say for small waves, you're gonna do better with large fins so that you can give yourself that drive that the wave doesn't give you. With the Fling OG, I never had a problem riding the medium-sized fins, but with the Hippy tail, it felt like a little too loose and I was losing some drive. So I'd recommend stepping up a size in fins, specifically for small waves on the Hippy tail. For anyone out there who's like super curious about stats, I'm gonna put them all somewhere right here. I'm not a super technical guy. I don't look at like concave and rocker and all that. I mean, I will say this has a very low rocker. That's why the Fling does so well in small waves. There's hardly any, as you can see. But as far as all the other specs, I just know what works, and this model has been so fun for summertime over the last few years. And now with the Hippy tail, it's even more fun for those punchy days where the Fling OG, like especially small little days that barreled, it would slide out, or you know, maybe there's days I wanted to do more airs or real hard wraps, and that tail was so wide, having to draw everything out, it felt like it kind of held me back in what I wanted to do. And I'll still be hopping on that thing anytime it's absolutely gutless, but this is my new favorite summer craft, the Fling Hippy tail. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that video and learned something and are excited for summer. Honestly, these boards have made me not dread summer anymore. I don't worry about being bummed out that the waves aren't as good because I can hop on these and do all my turns and stuff just like I normally would. They go super fast, and yeah, it's just a fun board to ride. I used to never enjoy if it was like under stomach high. And now those little days on these things, just the same. So anyway, check them out at Real Water Sports or at superbrand.com, and I'll have links in the description to the boards. Let me know if you get one. Let me know if you try out these pads, what you think. This has been like my favorite combo. I like the highlighter with this front pad, and especially because it matched my paint job. Wasn't on purpose. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll try and answer anything I didn't touch on here, but that is the gist of it. The Fling is the board to have, whether you ride the OG or the Hippy tail, or they have a swallowtail version. The Fling is gonna be your go-to board for small waves. So I hope you guys have fun this summer. Let me know if you get on one of these, and I'll maybe see you in the water. Have a good one, y'all.